You think they're going to get their hands off of power without a brutal, ugly fight? You're mistaken. And so when Nikki said last night, oh, it was a Democrat plant in my town hall. Well, first of all, I say to everybody in New Hampshire, whoever wants to come in this room, come in this room. And whatever question you want to ask me, ask me. And if I can't deal with a question from a voter in New Hampshire, I have no damn business being in the Oval Office. I guarantee you that.
Thank you.
I guess car vlog, just got out of the packed house that was the Christie town hall here over at the Holy Grail. Interesting restaurant I've never seen before, but a very interesting event. His introductions talk was a lot of the expected anti-Trump, anti-Nikki Haley presentation that everyone has come to expect from him. And it was fun. It was intriguing. I'll throw some clips of it.
So Nikki gave her typical answer on this, on Donald Trump. She said, well, the anti-Trumpers think I don't say enough bad things about him, and the pro-Trumpers say I don't say enough good things about him. And so I guess I'm just right where I'm supposed to be. No, you're not where you're supposed to be. Because she is smart. And she knows what he did on January 6th was wrong. And she knows that what he did on election night 2020, when he told the American people the election was stolen and he had no evidence to prove it, was wrong. And the reason I know she knows it is because she said it back then. But she won't say it now. And, you know, Ron DeSantis, who I have some disagreements with as well, but at least Ron DeSantis has been willing to stand up and say, under no circumstances will I accept the vice presidential nomination from Donald Trump. And I've stood up and said, and I will say again tonight, under no circumstances will I accept any job from Donald Trump.
Yay.
But Nikki Haley won't say it. When she's asked that question, you know what she says? I don't play for second.
It was everything you hope to see in some fun politics. As someone who views politics as my sport, I don't pay attention to baseball or football or anything. I pay attention to news and politics, and this was that. I mean, Christie calling Sununu Haley's political husband, it was entertaining. It made me chuckle. Hammered Haley for being unwilling to offend anyone repeatedly. She's just trying to play the game, which, I mean, is probably the reason why Sununu's siding with her in this fight, and part of the reason why he's not necessarily going with Christie or DeSantis per se. The Q&A was a lot more than I was expecting to see. Christie is just a super adept political operator. He knows where he stands on any topic. You can throw any topic at him. He'll pretty much have some take on it. He said a very similar thing about Dean Phillips. I mean, it was a lot of, hey, I don't know everything on all these subjects. I have these takes on it. We need to come together and we need to compromise. Imagine that in 2023.
The thing I think you need to do to renew people's confidence is to start accomplishing things. And the way to do that is you've got to be willing to compromise. The problem has been the presidents that we've had since George W. Bush have been unwilling to compromise with the other side. And so as a result, they dig their heels in, the other side digs their heels in, and they think they're winning by continuing to yell and argue on cable news. And send out emails to all of us asking to donate money to them because they argue better than the other guys, right? So the first thing is you have to accomplish things. So you say to me, okay, Chris, great. How do you do that? It comes down to personal relationships. You cannot do this without developing relationships with people on the other side and your own party.
I was feeling kind of sad as I was sitting through the Q&A going, what our political system is so screwed up by Trumpism and what Obama did and the post 9/11, everyone just mad at what our government had been doing through the Bush years, that we now are just, it's just so toxic. And I spoke to Tom Thompson about this. I spoke to House Speaker Packard about this. It's like, compromise is how you get things done in politics. And if we completely forget about that because we are so desperate to be right, then guess what? Nothing's ever going to get done. Your side is going to fail and we're going to be stuck doing this forever. I don't know what other way to do it. It makes me angry. I guarantee our friend Dexter probably has big disagreements with me on necessarily that take on it. But I mean, that's the reason why I ended up more of a libertarian than a traditional conservative. Probably it's a lot more of the openness that I feel like the Republican Party is missing with the MAGA movement and such. I'm not a populist. Christie isn't a populist. There are ideas of compromise that are meeting somewhere in the middle between what, and he spoke about Reagan during this presentation, that a lot of the stuff he got done was because he worked with Tip O'Neill and such to get things done. And guess what? He wasn't happy about everything. Tip wasn't happy about everything, but they got a lot of things done, whether or not they were best decades later when we look back. Whatever. I mean, that's just how our political system works, is at the time we try and do our best and we hope down the road future generations of leaders will make it better. And that's not what we're seeing right now. And I mean, I'm going to probably do a write-up on some of the Q&A that was brought up, because I feel it gives good contrast to some of the other candidates. But I mean, gun control was brought up. It was supremely frustrating listening to these Seacoast independents grill him on it, saying one guy was talking about how silencers are now available for purchase, and that means you won't know where the gunshots are coming from. People are going to be shooting people from the rooftops, and semi-automatic guns are just as bad as auto, and people can just pick up a machine gun off the side of the road. That's not how gun laws work. I'm going to have to get an expert on the show to really break down this, so I have something to reference to people that don't understand this, because I know enough to understand. I don't know enough to say I'm an expert. That's for sure. But I mean, there was an interesting take on immigration. His stances on immigration, I thought, for me personally, were pretty perfect. Like, he had a 5-step plan to dive into, and he specifically said at the beginning, this is not something you can just do in a CNN stump speech sort of thing that's got to be over in 2 minutes, but have the National Guard step in to help CBP, and then hire additional 10,000 CBP workers, which will take months, so the National Guard sticks around till then. Right now, we're dealing with 200,000 encounters and less than 40,000 beds. You think we should double the amount of beds that are available, triple the number of immigration judges to change the delays from being up to 4 years to being less than a year to get hearings for these individuals, and change the laws so there are legal pathways that actually make sense. Things like e-verify and things like that for employers, and opening up so if people are coming because they're going to work and they have jobs, they're able to do that, which is something we need in this country, and certain holes that we have. And long term, we should be trying to fix those holes internally. I'm pretty sure he would agree on that. But I agree with all this. I agree with Christie when it comes to politics. But his entire platform is screw Trump. This is not how we fix anything. We need to fix this. This is the problem. Christie on paper is an amazing candidate to me, but his platform is not on those issues. His platform is on the screw Trump and screw Haley. They're warmongers and they're terrible for our country, which, right or wrong, is not what you should be running on, in my opinion. It's another #resist platform, which I call out Democrats for all the time, which is a serious issue. I don't know. NewEnglandTech.com, I'll have some pictures there, the video with some clips. Please be sure to subscribe, like. You're on the YouTubes, you know how to find it. Also post the episodes as audio on your favorite podcast platforms. So please be sure to check that out, and talk to you soon.